Let's begin with the economy and the need to protect jobs in Nigeria. The Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has warned that the rising inflation rate will pile more pressure on the country's economy with great impact on citizens and businesses. Reacting to the Consumer Price Index data released by the National Bureau of Statistics on May inflation rate, the Director-General of the LCCI, Chinyere Almona, stated that it will force businesses to implement cost reduction strategies, including downsizing and local sourcing of inputs to lower production costs. Today, I don't understand this during grammar.
Well, you know, the inflationary rate is already very high. In fact, I believe that beyond what the MBS tells us,
we should be doing 20. We should be doing 21 point something, right?
Higher than leave that one.
The Bureau of Statistics give the
beyond what they give us. I expect us to be in the region of 40%.
Wow.
These things are really.
Wow. Okay. After the subsidy thing.
Now, beyond the subsidy that was removed, the floating of the naira would, in the first instance, reduce the value of the naira. It will reduce the value of the naira. Naira would exchange for foreign exchange for foreign currencies on a higher level. But we know that it will stabilize after some time. The real market forces will determine the correct value of the naira. But before we get there, look at the official rate was 460, but immediately the naira was floated. It went to 770. So at the end of the day, the point that I'm making is the value, the cost of sourcing foreign exchange by companies, because companies, if they, in the past, if they provided their documentation and all that, they can get foreign exchange from the official quotas at like 460. But it went straight to 770. It is projected that it will come to like between 600 and 660. That's what JP Morgan is projecting that it will come to after a while. That painful period, we have to imagine what our people will go through. Companies will spend more on foreign exchange to bring in input, to bring raw material and all that. So naturally, the cost of doing business will go up for those companies, especially those in manufacturing and all that. That is why they are suspecting that if it costs a lot more to do business, to manufacture, to do construction and all that, companies know that their profit margin will go down. It's just a natural thing. For example, if we increase the price of Coca-Cola today, it will reduce the number of people who would want to buy Coca-Cola, because people's disposable income
out of your reach
are shrinking.
Naturally.
People's disposable incomes are shrinking. Families are spending much less to take care of children, to take care of the home than before. Yes. Because incomes are not growing, but cost of living is going higher and higher. Businesses are not making higher profit. Even if they make higher profit, the costs of doing business will eat massively into the profit that they will make. By the time you look at what did it cost me to generate so amount of money, you see that it's a lot higher than before. And for them to stay alive, for the companies to stay alive, they will start thinking of retrenching. Because if you don't retrench, you can't pay a lot of the workers. Look at what some of the companies involved in this production of beverages have done, because
because
people can't afford
the big.
That was response to lower demand.
Over the time.
In response to lower demand, they say, oh, this 35 CL, how many people will like that? Let me look for the smaller one. But that small one, you see Maltina and Coca-Cola, those tiny ones, it does not satisfy a lot of us. We've been used to consuming the bigger.
Remember Pick Milk?
So you still drink Coca-Cola?
Yeah. It's still, that's occasionally I still drink it. Not all of us can be drinking spirit all the time. It's even more injurious to the body. Now, what I'm trying to say is, in response to lower demand, they've decided to shrink those bottles, reduce those bottles, so that more people can afford. The alternative is for them to get out of business, because if they don't make money, they can't stay afloat. They will have to send workers packing. So what the Chamber of Commerce is saying is, look, everything points to greater inflation. Inflation was already high, and then we floated the naira, and then we removed subsidy. So because the transporter would also add to the cost of transportation, all of those things put together will also raise prices of other goods and services. So it's a natural possibility. What they are talking about is bound to happen. There's no way that we will not suffer either retrenchment as a result of this. Banks, companies have to stay afloat. And when they look at their profit margin and it's shrinking, they have obligation to their boards and all that, and their shareholders. So they would think of reducing the cost of running those businesses, and one of the ways by which they can reduce costs is to lay off workers.
But Mayor, it's as if we have to swallow these bitter pills before we
Yes, I agree. Let me start by saying that I do not agree with the DG of LCCI, and I will tell you why I do not agree with that. I agree that inflation is high. There's no question about that. I agree that the removal of petroleum subsidy and floating of the naira will add to the cost of production. I concede that. But those are bitter bills that we need to do to be able to restructure the economy in a way the economy should go. That's basically because prior to floating the naira, the double window that you have is just a scam. Most of these manufacturers do not really get their foreign exchange from the first window. Some of them do, but it's only very few. When you apply, you don't get it. The
process
go through. You don't get most times. So most of them result to getting it from the black market. So ab initio, the cost of their foreign exchange sourcing has not changed. The cost has not changed significantly, because most times they used to get it from the black market, and the cost right now is lower than that of the black market. And when you now have a floating naira, it makes foreign exchange accessible to everybody. The central bank now is in a position to take care of those who want the dollar more, because now they have price that is convenient for them. And central bank is doing that. So a lot of those manufacturers will be able to access foreign exchange through the official source. That's one. Two, despite the inflation and the problem within the economy, most of these industries, especially those in the service industry, like banks, are churning out huge profit. Huge profit. Because the market in Nigeria is huge. And when you love something, or you're addicted to something, you create money. You find money to satisfy that your craving. So it is easier for these companies to transfer the increase in cost to the consumers. So yes, it is difficult. Yeah, it is tough. But I don't think that the industries should react by downsizing. That is not the first thing they need to do. Downsizing is just being selfish.
Well, when the cost of production
Yes, I've considered that. What I'm saying that, but what I'm saying is that it depends on the profit that you are making. That's why I said that despite the high cost of production now or high cost of servicing things, most of these companies on the stock exchange are declaring huge profits.
No, Mayor, Mayor, look at your business now.
More than before.
Look at your business now, sir. I'm coming, sir.
So why should they now downsize? Because they want to continue.
Can you just continue to print your newsprint every other week?
Let me give you an example. Let me give you that as an example. Before, what we do now, when you want to do production, the cost of newsprint and the cost of art paper that you do has gone more than 400–500%. Consider that. Okay, when you do that, when you invest that kind of money and you do that production, where do you get your source from? Your income from? You can't get your income from the street because the buying power has
you can't be selling it for 1,000.
So you now rely on adverts that are going to come in. Most newspaper houses have increased the cost of adverts. When you increase the cost of adverts, that is what will make up for that increase in production. But it will not make sense for you to now say that because, the cost of newsprint and art paper have increased by 400% or 500%, what you need to do is to sack your staff. That's what I'm saying. That yes, I concede that the cost of doing business have gone up and it's tough for everybody. We are in it too. I'm in it, so I know that. But the best way to solve the problem is not sacking, is not downsizing. That's what I'm saying. It's not downsizing.
Most people
that's what I'm saying. Yes, they will do that because why they do that? Why most industries do that? It's selfishness because they want to maximize their profit. So they don't care. They believe the most is possible.
Let me just so that we don't go on and on this. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria will give you sufficient information on how many companies have even folded up even before this time. A lot of companies have folded up because the business environment is extremely toxic. It's difficult to operate. Harsh. A lot of the beverage, even the beverage producers, makers, a lot of them are folded up.
I don't think they Cadbury in Oregon here, I don't think they make all this stuff from Bovita.
We don't even know.
They're still buzzing.
We don't know.
Large-scale production.
They just leave them, because they will turn it into something else. There are many companies that are folded up. If you talk to Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, they will give you a long list of their mates in the business who have folded up. Before even subsidy was removed, it was already bad, difficult to do business in this country. Do you know when you go to...
So that means it's not inflation.
No,
it is the environment, it's the business environment.
You see, a lot of people can't, they don't have access to electricity.
Yeah.
They have to rely on diesel.
That's major problem.
Cost of production.
Deep into their profit. At the end of the day, they can't make ends meet. They fold up. It's already happening. Go to the industrial layouts. You see a lot of those companies, a lot of the warehouses have been taken over by churches.
Just go there. There's nothing like just go to a background.
So you see some of them, the warehouses taken over by, it's already bad enough. It's already bad enough. Before removal of subsidy, there's no way. Anybody, just like Sanusi said, if anybody tells you that things will be easy, that person is a liar. It's going to be tough. For us to do these two things at once, no matter, people like Dangote, do you think you'll be able to finish the business if he was sourcing foreign exchange from the
parallel market?
He can't now. There are still many of them. Every month they release. They still release.
It was said to have paid out of $9 billion. They had paid $7 billion. It's from that thing. It can't be from the 460. That's 460.
No, yes, so not many people can survive. A lot of them are dying because they are forced to go there. And already being forced to go there means that they cannot survive. It's difficult for people, and the markets are shrinking because what you have, a lot of things are competing with the money that you have. Now, look at civil servants, workers here. How difficult it is for some of them to come
30,000 naira minimum wage.
How difficult it is for people to come to work. Yeah. Transport costs have gone up.
Yes.
The more transport and other things compete for the little money you have, the more difficult it is for all of those things that we see as just
people stay in the office, they sleep in the office Monday to Friday now, just to reduce the cost of transport, not to be going home.
But at the same time, do you know that when you have competing needs for the money that you have, it depends on what it depends on. Cut down. It depends on what you consider to be important to you.
That's cut down.
Are you aware that the profit of the breweries are going up? Even Guinness that used to have issues are now doing very well. People drink a lot of beer.
How many businesses in Nigeria are trying?
No, I'm just saying, no. We've considered that. We've considered that the businesses. I agree that businesses are falling off. But my own argument, I agree that businesses are falling off.
And when they finish drinking,
my argument is that the businesses are falling off because of the economic environment. The environment is so difficult for them. So it is not the reason of this.
So the person is saying that this thing will happen.
Of course, we know
it's inevitable. It's not saying that it must happen. He's saying that with the way this problem, this subsidy removal and this added together will cause this to happen. Because even before now, people are laying off workers. So it only gets worse. That's the point that he's making.
Okay, Jide, what would now be the difference between Nigeria and Ghana? Because as you just said, that Nigeria will be doing far more than 20% as projected by National Bureau of Statistics. But Ghana has been officially, like 3 months ago, they've been doing 48–50% inflation.
Yes,
Ghana. When you go to Ghana now, when you enter their own boats or Uber, equivalent to Uber, they won't put in AC. They've cut everything. You're just going to...
I was in Ghana some months ago. The cost of living is very high in Ghana. Very, very high.
I know that things are getting worse for our people. To not admit it is to be wicked, especially the ordinary people. Things are really getting bad. If you are giving your child 500 naira to go to school every day, because your disposable income is shrinking because of inflation and all that, the food prices are going up. There are things. Is it not on during this terrible season that Nigerians began to slash yam?
Yes, I've not seen it.
Was it happening before?
I've never seen it.
Was it happening before?
I have never seen it. This is the first time.
Yes.
So a tuber of yam.
People can't afford it.
Slash it.
People can't afford it. Businesses are not increasing people's salaries because they too are struggling. You know, sometimes they will even tell you to accept a pay cut just to stay alive, just for the business to stay alive. So this is what this man is talking about. In my view, there's no way that these things will happen. No, if we I say it won't happen, when it happens, people will send us messages to say, okay, these people have done what the man said they would do. I think that we just need to encourage government to come with policies that will ease this pain. You know, they're already working on some of these things. So
but we should fasten our belts that it might get tougher.
It
might get tougher.
Yeah. No, that's how it should be. It will be tough, but we are going to get over it. Because eventually when you look at the policies that government is doing, now the scam, the nonsense scam about petroleum subsidy, everybody has seen that it's a scam now. I read the other day that the daily consumption has moved from 40 million to 20 million. What has changed is because before it was not 40 million. When you look at, we are going to, now the production of our production has increased. We're able to solve the problem of oil theft more. So government will have more income to be able to do things. And then they are working on the palliatives. I think the president told them to do it in another 1 month. We're going to get there.
All right. One good thing about